Come back to the Morning Watch, where we probe integrity issues of right and wrong. I am Clinton Chisholm. Remember, you can make your contribution to our discussion on our Facebook page at Love 101 FM, where we're asking, what are your views on the recent law allowing consumers' credit history to be shared among banks and other lending agencies? It's now time for our main watch. The government recently granted the first license for a credit reporting agency. We look at what it is and some of the likely issues. With me are Miss Megan Deane of Creditinfo Limited and financial analyst Dennis Chung. Good morning.
Good morning, Reverend Chisholm.
Thanks for joining us. I'm quite good, thanks.
Dennis, we meet again.
Hi, Megan. How are you doing?
Good.
Well, let's kick off this way. Miss Deane, a credit bureau in Jamaica sounds like a progressive idea. In a nutshell, what are the benefits to consumers, lenders, and the government?
Okay, well, the Credit Bureau, which is licensed under the Credit Reporting Act, is an agency that gathers data from the providers of credit, consolidates that data, has the capability to distill it, analyze it, and develop a single credit report on the history of an individual or a company, and that information is capable of being accessed by the subscribers who provide that information once their client gives permission for them to access it in consideration of their applications for loans or other business. And the individuals themselves can also access that information.
Is it going to be a per transaction authorization, or it's a kind of carte blanche authorization?
Initially, in terms of providing the information on clients to the Credit Bureau, it will be blanket. The institutions will upload all the credit information to the bureau, but it can only be accessed on a per request basis, either by an institution that is having some dealing with that individual. Company or person, or by that individual themselves, because every year one is entitled to a free credit report to see what is happening in the database.
You get it only on request. It's not sent to you automatically. You have to request it?
For each individual? No. As I say, the subscribers, which are the institutions that provide credit, once they have an agreement with Creditinfo Jamaica, their credit information will be uploaded by some technical means that I'm not too au fait with, but the computer people will understand. There will be interfaces, and every night that information on their credit portfolio will be uploaded to our database, and it will be stored there under very secure circumstances.
We hope.
When any subscriber wishes information on a particular client, then they put that request in, and that information is relayed to them.
Mr. Chung? Any comments or concerns on the reality of a credit bureau in Jamaica?
I think it's a good thing for us to have it. Is a step in the right direction, because the fact is that you want to be able to have some information on the credit history of people you're doing business with. I mean, that I think helps the whole financial sector. And also helps other consumers, because if I'm a bank, for example, and I can distinguish between someone with a good credit history and someone without one, then I can know that the person with the good credit history, I can give better terms and a better interest rate on loans. So if this whole society, for example, from a theoretical point of view, has a good credit history, it means that interest rates generally will come down. So it definitely is a good thing. What it means, though, is that people have to be very careful about their whole credit, and therefore what it promotes is more responsible spending by individuals. Initially, there might be a shock period where some people might realize how bad their credit is. And I mean, if you look at the fact that bad debts as a percentage of loans has been going up, basically doubled from 4.5% to 6.7%. then it means that, there are some serious credit issues out there. So it will help the society, it will help people, and by extension the country. So it's a very good thing to have it coming on stream.
Well,
I have an uninformed suspicion that government stands to benefit most out of this. Am I correct or wrong?
No, I wouldn't agree with that. I think both parties, the government is incidental to this process, really, in the sense that it is the credit institutions that will benefit as well as the individuals. The credit institutions will be better able to manage their risk.
Mm-hmm.
And so they will be able to work with a client based on the credit history of that client in scheduling their repayments, providing the right interest rates that allows them to extend the time and the energy to work with individual clients. The clients themselves, as Dennis said, will be forced to develop a sense of responsibility and discipline in how they manage their credit history.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're going to get to the stage, almost like the United States, where if you do not have good credit, you will not be able to do very much.
That's
and
right.
we're going to get to the stage where if you go for even to set up an account with an institution and they ask for a credit report from you that you have to take to them, even with your landlords and so on, they're going to be asked you to bring a credit report because they're going to know that information is out there.
Right.
So it's going to really create a sense of responsibility in the entire country. The government will benefit incidentally because I guess if the bank's loan portfolio is better, then they're able to pay more taxes. They will make more money. From that point of view, they would benefit. But it is really an institutional benefit as well as an individual corporate benefit.
But here's another maybe uninformed hunch. The whole system seems to me to be based on a plan to keep people in debt to get a high credit score or credit rating. Is that so?
Oh, absolutely not. People would take credit as and when they need it. Even if you take the credit, all you have to do is pay it back on the terms and conditions. If you even pay it in advance, it actually increases your credit score. So you don't have to take debt and keep it. You take debt and manage it well. Or if you use your credit card, you apply for a credit card, you pay it off every month.
Mm-hmm.
That increases your credit score. All the transactions that you do, how you manage your credit, contribute to the assessment of your responsibility matrix. And so the better you deal with all your obligations, whether short-term or long-term, actually enhances your capability to get more credit.
Mr. Chung, the flip side of that, what then of consumers who maintain a life ambition of living debt-free? Is there any place for them in the proposed new system?
Of living debt-free?
Debt-free, yes. Some Christians in particular have that as a goal.
Well, yeah. I think that's the preferred position. I certainly like to live debt-free. I don't believe in debt for personal consumption.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's really just delayed expenditure. So I don't do that, and that's the best way to live. And those people, at some point in time, they would have done transactions with banks in the past. They would have an excellent credit score, and at some point in time, maybe in the future, you might need to borrow some money, whether from a personal or a business point of view, because even though you might not believe in personal consumption debt, the fact is that you might be going into a business transaction, and have to use your name at that.
If I may, is that you don't need to access debt in order to have a credit history or credit score. Although the utilities are not currently in the pool of providers of information, we anticipate that within the year, certainly, they will be brought under the ambit of the legislation. How you handle the payment of your utility bills, how you handle the payment of your cable bills, how you handle the payment of your credit card, because you don't have to use credit cards for the provision of a line of credit. You can just use it for convenience. So if you pay off your credit card bill every month, you're debt-free. If you don't build up arrears on your various activities in any of the retail agencies or any of the utility companies, all of those information contribute to your credit score. You don't actually have to take a loan at any time to have a credit history.
Okay.
So that is an important thing for your listeners to understand.
Are we in a position where we can say the public has been properly educated, prepared for this new innovation in Jamaica's history?
No, I don't think we're ready. I do think that we have general exposure because I think many of our households have exposure to cable, so they have been exposed to all the advertising about credit scores and pre-credit scores, and they have a peripheral understanding, I think. But part of the one of the conditions of the license that has been given to us is that we must develop and present a comprehensive public education program where we educate people about
all right. Could I ask you just to hold? We take a quick time, sit and come right back to you.
Okay.
Thanks.